Let's start. So, this is the lecture number 7, 7th lecture, Unit 8, page 47. We should be careful of this number. In some books you find it page 46. In some other books you find it different number. Title for this unit, Studying. Right? So, Unit 8, Studying. Vocabulary here, it's about what? This topic here, first page, what's so-called assessment. Assessment is the noun. The verb is to assess, to evaluate. But here we talk about assessment in schools and in universities. Procedure for assessment, for assessing students. Right? Here we have a phrase bank that we use to answer different exercises. Right. Number 1. Look at the pictures here. Use words from the phrase bank to describe the people here. They are students in different places. We want to describe them using these words. Right? So this is students in picture A, as you see here. Right? So before I give you my own answers, what you do, you switch off the video, try to work on your own, try to think, try to answer, right? After you finish, you switch it on and compare your answers, right? Now, switch off the video, switch it off. Now, this student, we can describe this student as a dedicated student. Dedicated. Right? Right. Dedicated means he is working very, very hard. So we call this a student dedicated. B, as we see here, a student seems to be, right, thinking of what of the grades here or marks on the wall of the school. Maybe he got bad mark, so he thought that he is going to get good marks, but actually not. So we describe this student as disappointed here. Disappointed. Right? Right. C. Right. This student, she is doing an exam, right? Putting her hand on her head. She's not feeling well because of the exam. So what we may call her? We call her stressed. Stressed student. A kind of stressed feeling. A lot of students, they get stressed during an exam. Picture D. These are two students. Each one of them has received a letter from the university showing them their marks or their results. Right? And both of them are very, very happy. We call that jubilant. Right? Jubilant means very, very happy. Jubilant. Yeah, jubilant. Right, now you may switch on the video and compare your answers. Exercise 2. Match nouns from the phrase bank here, right, to the definitions here. We read a sentence definition. What is it about? Choose from here. Right? Choose from second group. Right. Now, before I read and give you my correct answers, what you do, you switch off the video, right? And work on your own, read and find the correct word. After you finish, you switch on the video and compare your answers. Right? Now let me read. After, of course, you switch off the video. 1. A repeat exam for a subject you failed. A repeat exam. It means you do the exam or the final exam again. You do the final exam again. That means what? You repeat the exam for a subject that you failed. What do we call that in schools? we call it retake as a noun. So it's a noun, retake. Retake as a noun. It means a repeat exam. A repeated exam, okay, in other words. Retake. Here. Retake. 2. The grade or the mark you get by adding all your marks, the total of them, and dividing by the number of, right, assignments you did. Right? And sometimes we say divided by the number of subjects, for example. What do we call that? You take the total of all marks and the number of assignments you did. We call that average mark. It's a kind of a mark or grade. We call it average mark. المعدل العام in Arabic. And here retake, it means الإعادة, or in Libya here الدور الثاني. 3. System of evaluation over time, not based on exams. Right? So it's a kind of evaluation or assessment over time. It means all the time you have an exam, you have evaluation. Right? All the time, not necessarily exams, but every exercises, all participation, right? But not only midterm exam and final. We call this kind of assessment or evaluation continuous assessment. All the time you have evaluation. 4. It's here, continuous assessment. As we say, تقييم مستمر أو على مدار الفصل. 4. A practice exam you do before an official exam. A practice exam. It means you don't get a mark. Why? Because it's only for a practice. And when do we do it? We do it before the final exam. Sometimes, not in all schools, right? It's a chance for the students to try themselves. What do we call such kind of an exam which has no marks? We call it mock exam. Right? Mock exam, as in Arabic, امتحان تجريبي. Right? Sorry here. Right. Okay. 5. Studying in preparation for exams. Usually students, as in Libya, they prepare themselves for the final exam, sometimes for 1 week, 2 weeks. They prepare themselves, they study hard. We call this kind of studying at home as what? Revision. Revision means you study as a preparation for the exam. Revision. Here. 6. The marks you get or you take for an exam or a piece of work. So the mark you take, what do we call it? Of course, grade or grades. The marks is so grades. Plural, grades. Right. 7. Work you do at home or at school. Sometimes your teacher asks you to do an exercise at home. So we call it what? As a homework, for example, right? We call it coursework. Right? Coursework. Sometimes you do it at home and sometimes you do it at school. At school. It can be at school. Coursework. Right. Now you may switch on the video and compare your answers. 3. We have listening here. Use words from exercise 2 here that are mentioned here or here to complete the text. You put them in spaces. After you finish, you listen and check. Right? Now, before I give you the CD, the listening, what you do, you switch off the video, you read, and you write in your own sheet, right, the correct words, right? Correct words, yeah, from the second group here. Use them here in spaces, right? Now, switch off the video, switch it off, okay? Switch it off. And now I'm going to give you the correct answers from the CD. Right.
Communicate. Listening and speaking skills. Course book. CD 2. Unit 8. Vocabulary. Exercise 3. Qualifications in Britain used to depend completely on exam performance, but now more courses are assessed on a mix of coursework done over time and exams. In some subjects, up to 40% of the final mark comes from continuous assessment of assignments. Students who get nervous doing exams have welcomed this change because they feel that their average mark is better than their exam results. A-levels are very important for getting into further education, so it's common for schools to have mock exams in January to give students a chance to practice before they do the real thing in June. No one wants to do retakes, and many universities require specific A-level grades to get onto a course, so many students spend much of May and early June doing revision.
Right. After we have finished listening to the CD, right, you switch on the video, right, so as I've told you, after finishing listening to the CD, you take your pen and complete spaces, right? You may listen to the CD again and again and complete spaces with the correct words that you have listened from the CD. And then read again and again, and it would be better if you record yourself reading and check your reading, how you read, right? Very good. Exercise 4. Answer the questions. 1. How important is continuous assessment in your school? Is it important to do this kind of procedure, continuous assessment? We take marks along the semester, not only midterm and final, is it? Do you follow this kind of procedure in your schools, secondary schools? Put here yes or no. 2. Does your school have mock exams? Do we have mock exams in Libya? I think no. The answer no, we don't. Right? Or no, it doesn't. Our schools? No, it doesn't. But long time ago, we used it to have it. 3. Do you prefer to be evaluated by coursework or by exams? Of course, all students, they say, I like to be evaluated by coursework all the time. Homeworks, participation, right, speaking, writing, and so on. 4. Do you study through the term or leave it till the last minute revision? Right. How you prepare for the final exam? Do you study every day until the final exam, or you study only the last week before the final exam? Right here. Right? Okay. Now, what's this? Yeah, language note. Let's read. Easily confused words. Right? We have assessments at school next week. Right? We have evaluations at school next week. Right? So we have assessments at school next week, and this is the other one. We have evaluations at school next week. Both of them are used. Culture. In Britain, we call A-level results, A-level exams in the last year in a secondary school, okay? A-level results range from highest grade A, some students, they take highest grade, which is A, to the lowest grade, E, it means fail. If you fail, you get a U, U, so this is the lowest grade. But U, it means you failed. And they write here, or it means you unclassified, right? It means failed, not passed. For admission to the best universities, if you want to go after secondary school to a good university, you should have what? Students need to get 3 AA or A grades. 3. For example, 3 subjects, A. 3 subjects. The highest grade in in at least 3 subjects. If you get grade A in 3 subjects, so you have the chance to choose a good university in England. Right? Okay. Let's go to the next page. Complete the definitions here. Right? With words from the phrase bank here, as you see on the right. So what you do, you read and you write to look for a word here to put in these spaces. Right? What do you think? Something here is a reduced version of a text written in your own words. For example, you have a text 2 pages. After you study it, you make it 1 page only. Or you make it half a page. What do we call that, Ali? If you have a text, 3 pages, you study it, and then you take a pen, and you write it again, but in 1 page. A summary, yes, read. Yes, good. Fatima, it's a piece of work you do at home. What is it? Assignment. An assignment is? Yes. 3. Ali, read. If you copy another person's work. If you copy someone's work, right? And sometimes you don't write his name. What do we call that? You plagiarize. Yeah, the noun is plagiarism. The verb plagiarize. What does it mean? Steal, to steal. You plagiarize it, yes?
This is common with students copy texts from the internet, so beware. Many teachers have programs to check.
Yeah. Fatima?
To make a revision,
for exams.
for exams, easier, students should review.
Yeah. To do what? If you want to go to the exam and you find your exam is easy, you should do what before the exam? Okay, review. Review their notes throughout the year. Yes, next, Ali? 5 is what students...
is what students do when they write down the next week's spoken presentation.
Yeah, a note taking. Yeah, it's a procedure for the students. Next, Fatima? 6.
When you search for information in an organized way,
Wait.
on the internet or in a library,
You research the subject, yes. 2. You are going to listen to a student talking about how different sixth form is. Now, what's a sixth form? The last 2 years in a secondary school. In Britain, they studied the first year of a secondary school, I think, and then they decide to go to get a work or to continue studying 2 more years. Why? After that, to go to A-level exam. That 2 years, the last 2 years, they call it sixth form. Right? How different sixth form is. Now, the question, which things will she mention? Take a pen, listen. What is she going to talk about? Is it about uniform or timetables or classes or what? Listen and tick. Or you write down on a piece of paper. Right? Listen.
Unit 8. Speaking. Exercises 2 and 3. So, how are things different now you're a sixth former?
Well, of course, the difference most people notice first is that we don't have to wear uniform.
Yes, I hear that's pretty popular.
That's right. And our timetable is more flexible. But I think there are also some important differences when it comes to the type of work we do.
How do you mean?
Well, a lot of the classes are more like lectures. The teachers tell you stuff and you have to take notes. They don't tell you what to write. You have to decide.
I suppose that's good preparation for university.
Yes. And we also seem to be working more independently. The teachers set us homework assignments, which we have to go off and research.
That must be pretty easy these days, with the internet and so on.
Well, yes. But there's so much stuff to read that you have to be selective, or you can spend hours on it. And of course you've got to summarise it all and put it in your own words so as not to plagiarise.
Well, that's good. I mean, you should think about it and write your own ideas, not just copy what someone else says.
Yes, but it's not always easy.
What about exams? Do you have a lot of them?
Well, yes. Between mock exams in January and final exams in June, and then tests every month or so, there always seem to be exams round the corner. Either you're revising for them, or you're doing them.
But isn't there more emphasis on continuous assessment these days?
Yes. I think coursework is more important, and I think that's a good thing. At least your grades don't just depend on exams. I mean, that...
So, what things they talked about here? First thing they talked about? Uniform, yes. What else? Timetables, very good. Classes. Classes and teachers as well, huh? What else? Two more topics. Homework. All right. Assignments. And the last thing? Frequency of exams. Frequency of exams. Exercises, read here. Listen again. Take your pen. Complete the first part of a dialogue using words from the pronunciation box here. Yeah, maybe. Right. Yeah, maybe here. These words. Right. You may use them here. Listen.
Unit 8. Speaking. Exercises 2 and 3. So, how are things different now you're a sixth former?
Well, of course, the difference most people notice first is that we don't have to wear uniform.
Yes, I hear that's pretty popular.
That's right. And our timetable is more...
In this, what they call it? It's called advanced placement or standard assessment test. Right. Right. Let's go to the next page. Listening. Study skills. Study skills. Study, it means what here? Talking about how you study at home, right? What procedures or techniques that you follow to study or to prepare. Work with a partner. Read study skills 1 to 6 here. And the question, which three are most important? Use the useful language to discuss here. Studying skills here, we have a good variety of IT skills. You should have a variety of IT skills. What else? Organizing your time. Like what? Having a timetable, right? You write time, what to study, what to do, and so on. 3, effective reading. 4, using the internet critically. 5, ability to plan and write good essays. 6, good note taking. Choose 3 of these. Sorry? Organizing time is very important. Other 2? It's very important using the internet, yeah, critically.
Is number 1 not the same? Good variety of IT skills?
A good variety, that means you have a mobile phone, you have what we call it.
IT skills in general, like internet is included into IT skills.
In which one you mean? Number 1 and number?
Number
4.
4, yeah.
You mean it's a repeated sentence?
Kind of.
A good variety of IT skills. Okay, you have, but sometimes you don't know how to use it. But here, number 4, you should know how to use it. Using the internet critically. You understand what I mean? Some students, they have a variety, but they don't know how to use the internet critically. But first, 2 things you should have them. A variety of IT skills, and you know how to use the internet. You understand what I mean? The last point you think is very important, I think, good note-taking. You take a pen and piece of paper and you know what to write, to summarize. Right? Exercise 2. Exercise 2. Listen to a head teacher giving a start of term, semester, let's say, of term lecture to new sixth formers. The question, which three things from one here does she mention, does she talk about? You take a pen, you tick. Maybe the same points that we have mentioned, and maybe not. Right? Listen, and tell me later which one or ones she mentioned.
Unit 8. Listening. Exercise 2.
Good morning and welcome. I'm Alice Howe, your head teacher, and I'm here today to give you some advice about study skills as you start in the sixth form. One of the main differences is that in the sixth form you have fewer subjects, but hopefully these are things that you personally are more interested in and have chosen to study. You'll have more time to spend on each of them, but you'll also have to work more independently. This means that time management is, everyone clear what I mean by time management? Is very important. Make a note of deadlines and plan your work accordingly. Use lists to tick off assignments, homework, exercises, essays, and so on when you finish them, and remember that it's better to study and review on a regular basis than to leave it all to revision just before the exams. It's easy to leave things till the last minute. Remember that in the sixth form, you'll also have opportunities to do other optional activities, get a part-time job or learn to drive, as well as having a busy social life. The better you organize your time, the more things you'll be able to do. Effective research is a very important skill. Now, what do I mean by effective research? Well, what I'm talking about is organized study. It's easy to waste a lot of time, and it's also easy to get distracted when using the internet. Try not to download page after page. Be selective. It's also important to remember that not everything on the internet is true. Pages like Wikipedia are created through collaboration, and no one checks the contents. Try to read, think critically, and then take notes. If you do this, you'll be expressing your own ideas rather than someone else's. Note-taking is in itself a very important skill. There's no one correct way to do this. You have to find what suits you. Some people write detailed notes using full sentences. Others note keywords or write the most important information using bullet points. More visual learners may prefer to use mind maps. It doesn't matter. The important thing is that it works for you and provides a summary of the main information which you can use for revision.
What do you think? Were they the same that we have mentioned? Yeah, the first, she talked about organizing your time and then using the internet critically. And the last was about good note-taking. Right, yeah. Okay. 3. Match expressions 1 to 5 here, meanings A to E here. Right? So you read and you write A, B, C, D, or E here. Right? Let's start. Fatima, read. 1. A busy social life. What do you think it means here? C. A full free time agenda. A busy social life, a full free time agenda. Right? Similar meaning. Right? 2. Next, Ali, try.
At the last minute.
At the last minute.
The last possible time for doing.
Yeah, the last or the latest possible time for doing something. Yes, Fatima. 3.
Please outline, I think, a specific time or date, a time limit.
A time limit. Yes. Ali. 4.
On a regular basis. Something that you do.
Routinely. Yes. The last, Fatima.
Part time, D.
D.
For a few hours each day
Or week. Yeah, for a few hours each day or week. Right. Now here, look at the different study techniques here for students. The question, label them using words from phrase bank. What do we call these kind of notes? Right? Have a look at them. We should take from here. Oh, sorry. What is it? Yeah, here. First group. Do we call this kind of note taking detailed notes, or bullet points, or mind map, or color coded notes? This one, it's clear, huh? Right, and this one, map. Now the other two, try to think of them. Here, I can't give you the both things, the phrase bank and the exercise. Now anyway, compare this and this. Are they the same? This one, bullet points, the important points. And this one, we call it detailed. Yeah, more and more, right, in detail. Right, this one, as a map, here, mind map notes. And this one, right, yeah, this one here, color-coded notes. Right? Listen to the presentation. The question, which techniques here in 4 is not mentioned? Now, we listen to someone talking about these types. The question, he is not going, or she is not going to talk about one of these. Which one? Listen, try to understand, and tell me later. Right?
Unit 8. Listening. Exercise 5.
Note-taking is in itself a very important skill.
Listen.
There's no one correct way to do this. You have to find what suits you. Some people write detailed notes using full sentences. Others note key words or write the most important information using bullet points. More visual learners may prefer to use mind maps. It doesn't matter. The important thing is that it works for you and provides a summary of the main information which you can use for revision.
Which one is not mentioned here? Yeah, color-coded notes. Yeah, very good. Now, number 6. Which one of these have you tried or you try to do? Which one? Do you try to use color-coded notes? Sometimes? Not always. Yeah, I see some students, they use it. Mind map notes here, like this. You use it, Fatima? And which one of these two, or both of them, detailed notes and bullet points?
We have to use them all in writing.
Bullet points?
All of them.
All of them. I see. In writing. Writing 1, 2, 3. Which?
2.
Writing 2. And writing 2. Yeah, right. Very good. Next page. Functional language here. Public speaking, number 1. Find and write examples from the audio script. We don't have it here. Ways in which the speaker is, number 1, justifies why she is talking to the audience, and so on. Use the phrase bank to complete speaker's presentation about essay writing. We don't have that page. 104, we don't have it. Right? Right, exercise 2. Use the phrase bank here, the sentences here or phrases, right, to complete speaker's presentation about essay writing. Right? Oh, sorry, the picture is not clear here. Right. I'm trying to give you both. Let me try this. Here. Is it clear? Right. Let's read. Ali, try to start.
Writing essays is an important skill in schools and at universities and at universities.
Someone is talking here, right? A speaker or someone giving a presentation as, let's say, as a student. Someone. Writing essay is an important skill in sixth form and at university. And
Don't forget
to offer some tips, advice about how to do this. And what here?
Oh, I'm here today.
Yeah, I'm here today to offer some tips about how to do this. Right. Next, Fatima. 2. Now starting. Yeah. The first thing you need. Continue. Research. To include. Yes. 3. You can see here, Ali, to spend so much time researching.
The next thing,
No. Here. It's easy too, right?
spend so much time researching that we forget things. Make sure you leave time to do it.
Right, yes. Fatima 4. To plan. The next thing is to plan. Think. Will come in each section. And how best to organize it. Next tip or advice, Ali? Yes.
Remember,
Yeah.
it's important
Remember, it's important. Yes.
to start and finish well.
Mhm.
Think about your introduction and try to finish with a strong conclusion.
Yes. Okay. Next, Fatima. Try to support. Try to support your ideas with the quotations. Right. Number 6 here, Fatima. With quotations. Yes. You all know. Yes. It's here. You have it here. It's here. You all know what I mean by that. You all know what I mean by that, don't you? All right. You all know what I mean by that, don't you? All right. Don't forget. Yeah. Don't forget. Yes. So what is it? Just a minute. Don't forget. Don't forget. Where is it? Don't forget. That's it. Right? Try to support your ideas with quotations. Okay? You all know what I mean by that. Don't forget. All right? But please. But please don't forget. All right. To include the name. Author. The author and the book that it comes from. The last, before the last, Ali.
Following the
And finally, number 8.
and finally, give yourself time to check the work. You don't want to ruin the good impression.
To ruin. Yeah, to make something bad. Yeah.
The good impression of finished spelling.
Yeah. The last, Fatima.
Following these simple
Tips. Yeah.
can make all the difference between
A mediocre. It means the middle. The say and a great one. Right. Yeah. Final task. Final task. Yeah. Giving a presentation. 1. We have a CD here. Read the strategy box here. Listen to the 2 speakers. Right, here 2 speakers. The question, which one uses the ideas in the strategy here? Right. Listen. Listen, yeah.
Unit 8. Final task. Exercise 1. Speaker 1. The really important thing about presenting a project in class is that you've got to be calm. It's easy to get nervous. Avoid the temptation to read from your notes. Try to memorize the main points and talk directly to your audience. Remember, a good presentation can inspire people. Speaker 2.
Good morning.
Listen.
I'm here today to talk about how to do a successful presentation. A good presentation should sound natural to an audience. It's easy to read sentences that sound okay in writing, but don't sound natural in an oral presentation. Use short sentences. Use everyday expressions to make an impact. Use images to support what you say. Try not to put too many words on your PowerPoint presentation. Finish by repeating your main message. A good presentation should entertain and inform your audience. I hope I did that. Thank you for your attention.
Two students, student 1 or student 2. Which one in the strategy books? Index cardinals, these help speakers remember, and good speakers use these to talk in a natural way. Which one? Follow with these points. Speaker number 2, the girl. Right? Exercise 2, read the index cards, write the presentation. Right? You try to work on this at home. You check it. The last page. Revision. Vocabulary. Yes? Come in. Come in. Come in. Number 8. Yes? Yes, sit down there. So, vocabulary. Number 1. Explain the difference between these pairs of words. 2 words. I want you to try to give me the difference between each 2 pairs of words. According to the topic that we have finished studying now in Unit 8. Ali, continuous assessment and exams. Try to give a definition for the first and the second, or the difference.
Continuous assessment.
It means
Assessment throughout the year.
throughout the term or year or semester.
Yeah.
Right. And if we say exam,
Exam is a test.
it's a test giving the evaluation or assessment on a test only. Right. Giving mark or grade on a text or on a test or on exam only. But continuous assessment, it means giving mark or grade throughout all the semester or the year or the term. Right. Number 2, review and revision. Fatima, what's the difference between these 2 words? Very good. Revision is a noun. Right. 3. Ali, detailed notes and bullet points.
Detailed note is
Notes.
the notes. It's longer and it's
Notes in detail.
yeah.
Right.
Bullet points are just points.
The important points or the important information. But here, detailed information. Number 4. Yasmin, can you share us? Talking about this exercise number 4, the difference between now exam and when we say mock exam. Have you prepared this topic at home? No? Fatima, do you still remember?
Mock exam before the final exam. Exam.
When we say exam, we mean real exam. But mock exam, we don't mean the real.
It's not official.
Yeah, it's not official. And usually done in a period of time before the real exam, just for preparation. Right? 5. Grade and average mark. Now let's start, Ali, with the grade. Grade, what does it mean?
Grade is your it's the outcome of the
The mark.
The mark. Yeah.
Your mark. Average mark,
Average mark is many
the total of
yeah, the total of all your
all markets
over
divided into
the number of subjects.
number of subjects or number of exercises. Right, yes. 2. Write words from phrase bank here for definitions 1 to 4. Now we read the definition and we look for a word here and we put it in space. Let's read. Fatima, start. 1.
And say for 4 for your teacher.
What do we call it? Not in the first group, no. Not in the first, here. What is it? Assignment, yeah. 2, Ali?
To do an exam again after you failed it.
Yeah. When you do an exam again, you repeat it after you fail it or you don't pass it. What do we call it? Retake. Yes, me. Read number 3. And you don't say the truth, but you say it's my work. What do we call such work or such procedure you do, or such action or activity? You copy someone's work and you say it's my work. What do we call it in English here? It's here. Yes, me? Plagiarize. Or if we want to use the noun, we say plagiarism. Right? The verb is to plagiarize. Right? It's your own. Plagiarism. Plagiarize. This is the verb. 4, Fatima? Summarizing.
The
Content. A presentation. While listening. Note taking. 3. Complete the sentences with the correct form of a word from the phrase bank. Right? You read and you choose a word and you write the correct form of that word. Maybe you change it. You add ing or you cancel ing, the infinitive, the verb. Right? Ali, would you start?
If you copy another student's work, you are plagiarizing it.
Yeah, plagiarizing it. Yes. 2. What's this? Is a useful thing to do while your teacher is explaining things in class. That way you don't forget it. What do we call this? Note taking. Yeah, we call it note taking is a useful thing or procedure to do. Yasmin, 3. To do this week at home. What do we call this? Assignment, but here as a verb, past participle after has. Assignment is a noun. So how to say it? Our teacher has assigned us. It means gave us assignment. Right? 4. Fatima?
I like going to school because you get lots of science research them on the internet.
Yeah, research them on the internet. Ali?
I find it difficult
To
to reduce
reduce means what? To summarize. A lot?
a lot of information to suit ideas. That's why I hate doing summaries.
Yeah. I hate doing summary or summaries, plural, right? I hate doing summary or plural summaries. Yasmin, 6? One of these words here. Here, Yasmin. Look at this group. The content of each unit of work in your book when you complete them. It's a good idea to review. To review the content of each unit. Right? To review of work in your book when you complete them. When you complete each unit, you review it. You check it. Right? Pronunciation here. What do we have here? It's about sounds. Right, you do it at home. Right. Right, functional language. Okay. Now let's say we may stop here. That's the end for this lecture. Thank you very much. Good luck. Goodbye.